What's going on, everybody? It's GameUnboxingReviews here, and welcome back to another LEGO Marvel Avengers news update. Now, the thing is about this news update is it was supposed to be released a little later on. I was going to release it on Wednesday because, if you didn't know, Wednesday we're going to be getting an open world trailer of LEGO Marvel Avengers. That's right, the trailer is actually going to be pretty much devoted to the open world and probably just show us that. It might show a few characters or something like that, I'm not really sure, but yes, we're going to get an open world trailer on Wednesday, and that is extremely exciting. So I was just going to wait until then before releasing this, but so much cool stuff has already been announced this past weekend, and now it's Monday and even more stuff has been announced. I just had to make a video on it. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so first off we're going to be talking about abilities, and the first abilities we're going to be talking about is Quicksilver's. Now, obviously we know so much about Quicksilver, what he can do in this game so far. I mean, we know that he can run super fast, he can slow down time, he can take out multiple enemies at once, he can run up and down the sides of buildings, he can run on water, he can do so many cool things. It's crazy. I mean, I'm just blown away by how much fun this character is going to be in the game, and that's probably why he's one of my most anticipated characters to play as, because he can just do everything you would want him to be able to do. There's barely any games, from what I know at least, that let you play as Quicksilver, or let you play as Quicksilver this good. I mean, this is probably going to be the best experience you're ever going to get as playing as Quicksilver in a Marvel game to date. Maybe a game later in the future will beat it, who knows, but for now, this is hands down the coolest Quicksilver experience ever. Anyway, the thing I want to talk about, you all knew about that, but many people were curious to see, I've noticed a lot of people were asking, look, you say that Quicksilver's really fast in the game, but every gameplay I've seen of Quicksilver, he's so slow. Even in the hub worlds, he's so slow. He's just running normal. Well, the reason because of that is because you actually press a button to go super fast. So basically, what you do is you press and hold B/circle, depending on what system you're playing on, and it will activate the super speed ability. Now, obviously, this isn't just apply for Quicksilver. It works with Speed and other characters that we don't know about yet. I mean, there's bound to be more than just Quicksilver and Speed. Now, the great thing about this is it isn't limited, so it doesn't have a cooldown meter or anything like that. It's completely unlimited until, of course, you take your finger off the B/circle button. So that is great. So you can literally just speed along with ease and no problem whatsoever, and even Arthur has said that it's not even hard to turn. So you're going to have a lot of fun just running around the city, running up buildings, running on water. I think he's going to be extremely cool to play as, because really there's nothing stopping you. I mean, if you run into a building, you're just going to go up it. If you run accidentally into the water, you're just going to keep on running. He's going to be an absolute blast to play as, and I cannot wait. Now, before we move on to the next thing, I have one more ability to talk about, and it is to do with Devil Dinosaur and Moonboy. So basically, with Devil Dinosaur and Moonboy, what you can do in the game is you can be Moonboy and ride around a Devil Dinosaur. And I thought that was cool, but the way Arthur announced it, it sounded like you had to be a co-op partner. So one person is Devil Dinosaur and the other is Moonboy. And I was curious to know, since I don't really play a lot of co-op, can I just play as Moonboy and ride Devil Dinosaur in single player? And he said, yes, you can absolutely do that, but only as Moonboy. So you couldn't be Trevor Slattery and ride around on Devil Dinosaur. As much as I would love to see that, you can't. You can only play as Moonboy and ride around on Devil Dinosaur, which is fine and it makes sense, and I think it's going to be really cool. I think, characters like Devil Dinosaur and Fin Fang Foom, those are really impressive. I couldn't believe it when they were announced. Just playing as this giant T-Rex or a giant space dragon, I mean, that in itself is just going to be so much fun. Alright, so next up we're going to be talking about hub worlds, or one hub world in particular, Malibu Mansion. Now, with the hub worlds in this game, there's so many things you can do. You've got Manhattan, Malibu Mansion, Asgard, a shield base, Washington DC, Sokovia, South Africa, and Barton Farm. And on top of that, in Manhattan, you can go inside the interior of Avengers Tower, you can fly all the way up into the sky and walk around the shield helicarrier, and you can even go inside it. I mean, that's just how big this game is, and I haven't even mentioned any of the activities, any of the random crimes, or anything like that. That's just the areas that you can go to, and it's about to get even bigger. So as you can see right here, you can see Malibu Mansion in-game, and it's extremely cool. Now, this is actually taken from a video that was recently released online today. Now, I'm going to talk more about that video in a bit, because it's extremely cool, but let's just focus on the mansion right now. So as you can see here, we can see Tony Stark in the Mark 45 Iron Man suit, and we can see his villain, Killian, standing next to him. Now, the cool thing about Malibu Mansion is that when it was first announced that you were going to be able to go there, I thought, okay, that's obviously just going to be an interior. We're just going to be able to go inside Malibu Mansion, not walk outside. They're not going to do that. But then when I saw this, I thought, okay, so we aren't seeing the inside of Malibu Mansion, so maybe we can just go outside and you can't actually go in the interior. And so I asked Arthur and he actually answered and he said, no, you can go in both. So you can fly around all of Malibu Mansion outside and you can walk around the interior as well. That is amazing. Now, one thing I want to make perfectly clear is that at its core, this game is an Avengers game. It's an Avengers game, okay, you know, no matter how much you say, there's so much content, yes, but it is an Avengers game. However, you could easily mistake this for an Iron Man game. You really, really could. Think about it. You've got Tony Stark, you've got so many suits to suit up into, you've got his cars you can probably drive around in. Arthur didn't necessarily say no to that. So, you know, we might be able to drive some pretty cool cars as Tony Stark, which is great. We can live in both of his houses, Avengers Tower and Malibu Mansion. We can play through Iron Man 3, the best moments of Iron Man 3. There's just so much Iron Man content in this game alone. Not to mention, I just mentioned Tony Stark stuff there. There's also War Machine, there's Pepper, there's the enemies from Iron Man 3, there's Ironmonger, there's just so much. So much, and not only movies, but there's also comic book content, like Superior Iron Man is apparently in the game, and also, you know, just so many characters. Even Crimson Dynamo is in this game. It's massive. It's absolutely massive, and you could easily mistake this for an Iron Man game. But it isn't. It isn't, and that's how big LEGO Marvel's Avengers is. You could easily play this as an Iron Man game for as long as you want, but underneath all of that, there's just so much more, and that's just incredible. So now we're going to move on to vehicles, and the first thing I want to mention is a vehicle that was already announced, but something cool to do with it. So basically, we all know that Thanos is in the game, which is great. Thanos is awesome, and the Thanos Copter from the comics is also in the game. Now, one thing that I got a lot of requests from, you know, people were asking, can we actually fly it as Thanos? Because, you know, they always add these vehicles that are very iconic, and sometimes you can't do it. I think there was something to do with Darkseid in LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, and you couldn't actually use it as Darkseid, which was pretty disappointing, but, you know, oh well. Now, the cool thing about this is Thanos can drive the Thanos Copter. So yes, you can fly around New York City as Thanos in his Thanos Copter, just causing havoc. That's just going to be so cool. Now, the cool thing about that makes me think is that probably applies for all big figures, so we can probably be the Hulk and ride around the Thanos Copter. So we can fly around New York City as the Hulk in a helicopter. That just sounds hilarious. Alright, so now on to a vehicle that actually hasn't been announced until now, and it is, of course, the Mooncopter. That's right, Moon Knight's vehicle. This is extremely cool. What you're seeing right here is, of course, a screenshot from Spider-Man Web of Shadows. I couldn't really find a great picture of this vehicle. It's kind of difficult. They're quite low quality and everything, so I had to make do with that. I think that's the best look, in my opinion, at what you can kind of expect, I guess you could say, but it's probably just going to be all white or something like that. Anyway, yes, this is the Mooncopter, and this thing is flipping awesome. I absolutely love this vehicle, and I can't wait to fly around in it as Moon Knight. This makes me think that Moon Knight might be much cooler than he was in the first game, because in LEGO Marvel Superheroes, I just thought he was kind of boring. I didn't really want to play as Moon Knight because I love Moon Knight. He's such an underrated character, and he could barely do anything cool, to be honest with you. I really just did not enjoy playing as him, and I think now that he has his own vehicle, I think he might be able to do a lot more cool stuff, and I'm very excited to see what exactly he can do. And plus, you know, imagine if they add a day and night, you know, option, so you can change the time of day. So imagine flying around in the Mooncopter at night as Moon Knight and just taking down random crimes and stuff like that. That just sounds like so much fun. Alright, so now of course it's time to talk about the brand new characters that are going to be in LEGO Marvel's Avengers. So what I've done is I've split the characters into two different groups. First up, we're going to be talking about the returning characters. Characters that have been in LEGO Marvel Superheroes but are coming back into LEGO Marvel's Avengers. Then after that, we're going to be talking about new characters that weren't in LEGO Marvel Superheroes and are most likely making their video game debut in LEGO Marvel's Avengers. So first up, here we have a screenshot of Aldrich Killian and Trevor Slattery. Now, we already knew that these two were in the game, but the cool thing is that Aldrich Killian is actually going to be voiced by the extremely awesome Greg Miller from Kinda Funny Games. This is awesome, and especially after that brilliant speech he made the other day. I mean, that was just that was brilliant. It really was such an awesome speech. So the fact that he is voicing Aldrich Killian is great. And honestly, you know, when you hear him in game, he sounds awesome. He really does. I'm going to put the link in the description for the video where you can check it out, where he's actually talking and you get to see him in action. You know, you get to see Aldrich Killian talking to Tony Stark, and it's brilliant. It's really, really cool. And the great thing that I like about it is Aldrich Killian is a very side character in this game. You know, when you've got big characters like the Avengers, Devil Dinosaur, Fin Fang Foom and stuff like that, you'd think that a character like Aldrich Killian wouldn't really get much attention, but he is getting attention. The cool thing is that when you leave him for a bit, he'll actually start speaking. So you'll actually hear Greg just randomly start speaking, which is really cool. And he also makes a reference to Kinda Funny Games, which you'll see in that video, it's just awesome. I'm really excited to hear more of his lines in the game come January 29th. Next up, we have Taskmaster. Now, I want to make it perfectly clear that what you're seeing right here is a screenshot from LEGO Marvel Superheroes, not LEGO Marvel's Avengers. However, in saying that, I'm pretty sure that the design of Taskmaster that they've went with for this game is most likely exactly the same as what you're seeing right here. Anyway, yes, Taskmaster is in this game. Really, really happy to hear that, because I love playing as him in LEGO Marvel Superheroes. He has so many abilities. You know, he's got a bow and arrow, he's got a sword, a shield. He could do so much. So I think he's going to be really cool in this game. And the great thing is, every character that was in LEGO Marvel Superheroes, every character that's returning, is getting massive improvements. So I can't wait to see what they've done with Taskmaster this time round. Moving on, we have here, of course, Iron Patriot. Now, Iron Patriot wasn't confirmed on a site. Arthur didn't confirm him on Twitter or anything like that. Basically, what happened was when I was watching that clip of Greg Miller as Aldrich Killian, I noticed in the background when the player was playing as Tony Stark that the second character was Iron Patriot. So there you go. Iron Patriot is in the game, which is great. Now, the cool thing about this is we've seen Iron Patriot and we've seen War Machine, but we have yet to see Rhodey. Rhodey on his own without any suit. Now, I really hope that Rhodey can suit up, and I actually think he might be able to. And my theory is, basically, if you know Iron Man 3, you'll know that in the movie what Rhodey has to do is he has to rescue President Ellis, and then after that he gets the Iron Patriot suit. My guess is in this mission, because if you look, you can see in the gameplay, Tony isn't actually wearing a suit. So he will probably get in and out of suits multiple times in the Iron Man 3 mission, and I can't wait to play it. That's probably my most anticipated mission. Anyway, yes, so basically what I think will happen is you'll play as Rhodey and you'll play as Tony, and Rhodey will go after, President Ellis. He'll rescue him, he'll get the Iron Patriot suit, and then boom, he will stay as the second player that you'll play as with Tony Stark in that mission. So you'll take down Aldrich Killian with Tony and Rhodey. My guess is before that, you'll either play as Rhodey, with just a gun, or you'll play as another suit, so like Igor or something like that. So Igor will help you while you're playing as Tony in a different suit or something like that. But yes, Iron Patriot and the War Machine suit are in the game, which is great. Fingers crossed that we get a Civil War DLC pack, because I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer, but how cool does War Machine look in that movie? I mean, wow! I really want that suit in the game, so fingers crossed it happens. Quick thing to note just before I talk about this extremely awesome character, the screenshot I just showed of Iron Patriot is from LEGO Marvel Superheroes, and what you're seeing right here is also from LEGO Marvel Superheroes. Anyway, yes, General Ross and Red Hulk are back in LEGO Marvel's Avengers. This makes me so happy, because Red Hulk is one of the characters I play as the most in LEGO Marvel Superheroes, and to now be able to fight crime as him, super jump, climb walls, it's just the best, I can't contain my excitement about this game. Just walking around as General Ross, taking down random crimes and stuff like that, and then hulking out and super jumping around the city, climbing every building. This game is a massive Marvel playground. The more I hear about it, the more I get excited, and there's just so many things you can do, 1 minute, you're super jumping around the city as Red Hulk, climbing buildings, then you're super speeding through the streets on water or buildings as Quicksilver, flying around as a giant version of Fin Fang Foom, eating people as Devil Dinosaur. So many things, guys. I can't even stress how excited I am about this game. And now that General Ross and Red Hulk are in it, it just gets better and better. For one, now, to be honest, almost all of the big figures I've wanted to see in the game are in the game. But I would still love to see the Marvel Cinematic Universe version of Abomination that was in The Incredible Hulk and LEGO Marvel Superheroes. And She-Hulk as well, even though she's not, a big figure. I'd love to see She-Hulk and A-Bomb as well. I think they'd be cool. Moving on, we have an extremely awesome character returning from LEGO Marvel Superheroes, and it is, of course, Wasp. Wasp is back. Now, this is extremely cool news, because if you remember in LEGO Marvel Superheroes, Wasp was pretty cool. She could do practically everything you could expect her to be able to do. However, now that this game is more focused on the Avengers, it does have, tons of other stuff besides the Avengers, but now that it is focused on that team, I think that Wasp is going to be able to do a lot more cool stuff, because if you just look at the things that the MCU Avengers can do, imagine what they've done for all the rest. And plus, honestly, if I'm honest, I think now that Wasp is being confirmed, Ant-Man and Black Panther just have to be in the game. There is no way in my mind that I believe that those two aren't in the game. They haven't been announced, but if you're a fan of Ant-Man and Black Panther, I wouldn't worry. Honestly, I'm certain they're going to be in the game, and I can't wait to see what they've done, because Ant-Man was such an incredible movie, and if they've taken some of the fighting moves and stuff like that, just some of the comedy, some of the things and references from that movie and added it to Ant-Man in the game, that would be great. And it would be even better if we get the MCU Ant-Man either in the main game or in a DLC pack. That would just be so cool. And last but not least of the returning characters from LEGO Marvel Superheroes is, of course, Stephen Strange, aka Doctor Strange. Yes, Doctor Strange is back in LEGO Marvel's Avengers. Again, quick thing to mention, the screenshot you're seeing right here is, of course, from LEGO Marvel Superheroes. Now, the great thing about Doctor Strange in LEGO Marvel Superheroes was he was already awesome. He could shoot beams, he could turn himself invisible, he could fly. I'm pretty sure he could teleport as well. There was like these vents that Mr. Fantastic could go through, and if you use Doctor Strange, he basically teleported from one side of the vents to the other. So he could teleport, which was just such an awesome feature. So he was already awesome in my opinion. So imagine how cool he's going to be in this game, the improvements and everything, because every character that was in LEGO Marvel Superheroes has had big improvements. So I can't wait to see what they've done with him. And honestly, Doctor Strange was one of the characters I was almost certain of was going to be in the game. Because if you think about it, after next year, Doctor Strange is going to be a well-known character. Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be bringing that character to life for the first time on the big screen in 2016 in his own movie, and after that he's just going to be huge. He's going to be a huge character, and he'll probably appear in tons of Marvel Cinematic Universe movies in the near future. And imagine, we know that there's a possibility we might get a Captain America Civil War DLC pack, but imagine if we get a Doctor Strange movie DLC pack as well. That would be incredible. But if not, then at least we get the comic book version. Alright, so we've covered all of the returning characters that we currently know of that are going to be in LEGO Marvel's Avengers. Now it's time to talk about the new characters that weren't in LEGO Marvel Superheroes and are probably making their big video game debut in this game. So first up, we're going to be talking about a character named Trauma. Now, I had literally never heard of this character until now, but after reading about him, I want to see gameplay of him as soon as possible because he just sounds so cool. Now, if you're like me and you've never heard of Trauma before, basically he can turn into whatever the person near him is afraid of. That's all I kind of know about the character, but just imagine the possibilities of what he might be able to do. Now, again, we have yet to see how that's going to work in-game, but my guess is he's going to be this year's Beast Boy. He's going to be kind of similar to Beast Boy and be able to transform into a bunch of different stuff. It'd be so cool if he can transform into his own version of Devil Dinosaur. I think he once transformed into Thor and actually had his abilities and Mjolnir and all that kind of stuff. I think my friend Francesco once told me that. So, yeah. He's a pretty cool character, and I can't wait to see how he plays in-game. Next up here we have a really cool character named Diamondback. Now again, just like Trauma, I had literally never heard of this character until now, but she sounds pretty cool. So first off, she doesn't have any powers whatsoever. She's actually an Olympic level athlete, so her expertise are in hand-to-hand combat, and she's also an expert thrower of knives and other sharp objects. That's what it says on online when you look it up and you read about the character and stuff like that. So she will be more to do with melee combat and weapons and stuff like that, so that's pretty cool. But she does sound awesome, and I know quite a few people were actually really happy to see this character in the game, so that's great. It's always nice when a character you really hope to see in the game but you think might not make it because there's been no word on it. It's really nice when they are announced. It's just such a great feeling, so I'm really happy for the people that wanted Diamondback and will finally be able to play as her in this game. And last but most certainly not least, I'm pretty sure I've saved the best for last here. The final character that I'm going to be talking about that has been announced in this game is, of course, Lou Ferrigno. That's right, Lou Ferrigno is in this game. He's playable, he's voiced, and he has an absolutely incredible special ability. Now, for those of you who don't know who Lou Ferrigno is, basically back in the 70s there was a TV series based on the Incredible Hulk, which starred the brilliant Bill Bixby, who played David Banner, and it also starred Lou Ferrigno, who played the Hulk. Now, obviously, back in them days, they didn't have the incredible CGI that we have to this day. You know, when you look at the Hulk in a movie now, he looks absolutely phenomenal. But back then, they literally had to paint Lou Ferrigno green. That's what they had to do. And he doesn't even look that bad, to be honest. I mean, the guy was massive. You know, he's a big guy, and he still is to this day. So he definitely looked like the Hulk. And there's an episode or a mini movie or something of the Incredible Hulk TV show from the 70s that actually has Daredevil in it, and honestly I think it's brilliant. If you ever get the chance to watch it. It is really good. I really enjoyed watching that. Anyway, the reason I'm so excited about this is, one, I requested this feature. Back very early on this year, I was playing LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, and I was playing through the 1960s content, which is probably my favourite part of that game, and I was thinking to myself, how could they top this in LEGO Marvel's Avengers? How could they kind of have their own version of this classic, you know, cheesy kind of thing in their game? And I thought of the Incredible Hulk 70s TV show. So what I said to Arthur and TT Games on Twitter is, I said basically it'd be cool if you can get Lou Ferrigno in the game and then you press and hold down triangle and he paints himself green, and then you can run around as the 70s Hulk with Hulk abilities as a minifigure. That was basically what I said. I kind of just said it for fun. I thought it would be an amazing addition, but I wasn't sure if they would do it or anything like that. And they've done it. They've literally done it. Exactly how I've just described it, that's how it works in game pretty much. There's a slight difference though. So basically what you do is you press and hold down triangle and Lou Ferrigno will spray paint himself green. So instead of using an actual brush to paint himself, he actually uses a spray can, which personally is way better. I think that is so much cooler. I just can't wait to see how that looks in game. Now then, I couldn't actually think of a way they could transform him back. That's when I thought of this idea, I never actually thought of a way of how you could go back to normal Lou Ferrigno and play as him, but they have actually thought of it, and it is cooler than I could have ever imagined. So basically, to go back to normal Lou Ferrigno, all you gotta do is press and hold down triangle again, and Stan Lee will come in and start hosing off the paint. He uses a hose and he just gets rid of all the paint, and it's just so cool. I mean, the cameos and everything that Stan Lee has in this game, Lou Ferrigno and Stan Lee in the same scene in a transformation. I mean, it's awesome. It is just so cool, and I'm so glad this is in the game. And who knows? You know, we've got content from Captain America the First Avenger, Iron Man 3, Thor the Dark World, and Captain America the Winter Soldier. So maybe we also have content from the 70s TV series of The Incredible Hulk. We will just have to wait and see. Alright, so that is all of the latest news on the console version of LEGO Marvel's Avengers, so you can skip this part if you want to and skip right to the end, because this is just a quick thing for those who are getting the portable version of the game. So basically, for those who are getting the portable version, both the PlayStation Vita and Nintendo 3DS versions of LEGO Marvel's Avengers will feature the open world of Manhattan, just like the console versions. Now, there's no word on if it will feature other hub worlds like Asgard, Washington DC, Malibu Mansion, etc., but hey, you're getting Manhattan on the portable versions. That is extremely cool, and I'm really impressed by the fact that they've actually done that. There's no word on if any of the activities are going to cross over. I'd imagine there's going to be side quests, but I don't know if there's going to be random crimes like bank robberies and car thieves and stuff like that, but it would be extremely cool if it does actually have that, if you can actually basically have the exact same experience that you get on console from the open world in the portable version. I may have to go and pick up a PlayStation Vita, because just being able to take LEGO Marvel's Avengers on the go and being able to fight, you know, in random crimes and stuff like that wherever in the world, that just sounds too cool to pass up. It really does. Now, another cool thing about the portable version of the game is that you're actually going to be getting some exclusive characters that won't be in the console version. They tend to do that a lot with the portable versions of these games, LEGO Batman and LEGO Marvel Superheroes. I think they've always had an exclusive character, like I think it's like at least 4 or 5 or something exclusive characters in the portable version that aren't in the console version, so it makes sense to do it again this year. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It definitely makes me want to get the portable version, because it does sound cool, and I'm excited to see how different it is to the console version. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this video. I mean, I don't know about you, but I am extremely excited about LEGO Marvel's Avengers. Everything I've heard today, everything I've heard before, it just gets me more and more and more excited about this game. It's huge, over 200 characters. We've got 8 hub worlds. We get to play through so many different movies from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's vehicles. There's so many ways of getting around the city. Look, I could literally just go on and on and on and talk about this game because I'm just so excited about it and I cannot wait. And the great thing is, once that's all said and done, once we've played the game, and we're still playing it of course, I don't think we're going to stop playing it, but we're going to be playing it, we've played through all the levels, we've unlocked all the characters and stuff like that, we'll have DLC packs waiting for us. We might be getting Captain America Civil War, Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe even a Spider-Verse DLC pack. You have no idea what they might have up their sleeve, and I'm just so excited to see what DLC plans there are. Now, remember, like I said at the beginning of the video, on Wednesday we're going to be getting an open world trailer. So a trailer devoted to the open world of LEGO Marvel's Avengers. My guess is that will show several different hubs and stuff like that. It might show the random crimes. I'm hoping it shows us super speed, you know, Quicksilver super speeding through the streets, Hulk jumping through, you know, buildings and stuff like that, and maybe even Daredevil swinging through the streets. I mean, there's tons of stuff they can show, and I can't wait to see it. Alright guys, I want to thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for lots more videos real soon, and as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.